All right, let's move on over to topic 2. I know that was a little abrupt ending to the first topic. My bad. But jump into topic 2. Let's talk about wrestling. We always come back to good old wrestling. So we're a few weeks out from Mania. Usually I do post-Mania thoughts. I know I did the prediction video leading into it and talked about how the storyline's been built and my thoughts and feelings there. Yeah, not much has changed in terms of those reactions, but did want to briefly talk about Mania itself, what I thought of it, a little bit on Stand and Deliver and NXT stuff, and then kind of talk about post Mania and how things have gone since then. Not going to break down every match. Like I said, it's been a few weeks, so it's kind of all in the back burner for us as we've moved past it. And, I might not even remember them all, but I'll try my best. In terms of Stand and Deliver, I think the biggest takeaways from that, there were two of them. One, Stacks going against the Don in the family. Not sure how that's played out on NXT recently. I know him and Luca Crucifino were supposed to talk. I know Tony D's still dealing with it. But Stacks decided Tony D wasn't doing great or the right thing with Dark State, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. So that sucked. Especially after we thought we had a healing moment between those two at Stand and Deliver with the crowbar, but no. And then the triple threat, main event triple threat, great. Obafemi kills it in triple threats. Keep booking that man in those things. Trick Williams showed up. I know he's been kind of this new heel character, as we also see post Stand and Deliver and post Mania. Mixed bag. I haven't seen what he's been doing with Hendry, so I don't know how it's been delivered and the how it's been received. That's what I want to say. I know it was a little weird leading into the event. It seems like in NXT, if you're really doing well, they kind of want to push both sides of okay, this is you as a good guy, you got over. Okay, this is you as a bad guy, can you get over as well? We've seen it with Roxanne, which I think Roxanne has done okay with it. I think I prefer her as the face. And then Trick, it was why are we trying this? He was so over with the whoop that Trick thing. Even if in the ring he was okay, why not just run with it? I get why you want to experiment and do it in NXT because it's a smaller audience. You can kind of workshop things, but also you don't want to just not kill the momentum, but I don't know. Doing that too much might become too obvious to people, and then it just, I don't know. The traction's not behind those people anymore, and it's harder to get that back, especially going from that heel to that face again. I think we've seen that with Bayley. Not that obviously she was NXT workshopped, but Bayley hasn't been as strong of a face since the Hugger days. I think, hasn't been bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it hasn't been as over as it was then. So just something to think about there. I think we're also seeing it with Julia right now, who also was at Stand and Deliver. That Fatal 4-Way was okay. Kind of wish they just did the one-on-one with Jordynne Grace, which they are doing now. I'm kind of jumping around, but they're doing post-Mania, coming into Battleground, Jordynne Grace and Stephanie Vaquer. So cool. But yeah, Javon Evans, killing it as well, especially for how young he is. He shined in that triple threat as well. Surprised a little bit. I thought we were going to have a Dark State leader be introduced from one of these three. Not so much. Pal. Kind of thought maybe Javon was going to be the one. But that would have been another instance of oh, he's over as a face. Nope, let's make him heel. Make sure he can do it. No. With his moveset, that's tough to do. I feel like Wesley hasn't been as strong as a heel since turning. And he has a pretty impressive moveset as well. It's hard to do the high flyer bad guy, I feel. trying to think of. I guess Ricochet's doing good stuff over in AEW, but he's also kind of made to be, once again, not from watching, but just outside looking in. He's kind of made to be the chicken shit heel. Like, you make fun of him, it's goofy, and he's kind of sly tactics, Miz-esque, with a better moveset. I don't know. So, surprised we didn't get that reveal. No reveals of any new people. Where the hell is Hikuleo? Where the hell is Jeff Cobb if he's signed? I know, I don't know if he's a Fatu, but another Samoan Dynasty guy. Lance Anawahi, I know he got signed. Like, Hikuleo especially, like, allegedly he's been signed for ages. Where the fuck is he? So nothing there. And the rest of the matches were okay. I was really hoping the women's ladder match was going to kick ass. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the star power in there. Sol Ruka does great. Kalani does great. I want to like Zarya. Zarya's been this weird change of character where she was going to come in as this destroyer, and now she's like the gentle giant with this Sol Ruka pairing. Thea Hale coming back was fun, but Izzy Dame and I think Lola Vice was in there. I don't know, not the strongest in terms of characters right now. So I don't know. That match was kind of to me. Happy for Sol Ruka. She definitely deserves it. Double champing it up. But yeah, that was a kind of a bummer. Hank and Tank winning, cool. Fraxing up to the main roster, also cool. They have great matches. I probably should have shouted out that one too. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. I think I watched part of that. I was kind of in and out. I was cleaning up, doing some chores prior to the big Mania weekend because I knew I was going to be busy and was running late. So I kind of saw some of that one. So I can't give a fair opinion of it because I didn't sit down and watch it. But cool. I like both of those guys. So going over to Mania, let's talk about night one. Night one felt better in ways. I don't know if it's just the trip, the vacation, the party mindset, where you go into something, you're really excited, you're really hyped, it's fun at the beginning, and it feels like forever, and then you get towards the end of it, and it's still fun, but it goes by in a flash, and then you're like, oh, it's over. I feel like that was Mania for me. I really enjoyed night one. More the hanging out aspect with Lady, with the folks, watching it together, being goofy. That was definitely the best part of it, similar to most wrestling events. Match-wise, I'm trying to think night one, what was a standout? Charlotte Tiffany, I don't know if it was a standout for the good reasons. I was worried about the build here, and I think the match unfortunately also suffered. I thought this was going to be one that bounced back from the match. And it's not that the ladies did bad. It was just very clunky and awkward. Not that I can say much. I've never wrestled. But it felt like something was off, similar to how the stories felt. I thought we'd be able to catch fire like Charlotte and Rhea last year, where it'd be a ripper. Not so much Al. Had some tough shots in there. Seemed like Tiffany chipped a tooth. That got fixed later. Yikes. But Tiffany did retain, so happy with that result there. The men's triple threat, the main event, I will say took me by surprise. Oh boy. Excuse me. Hiccups, let's go. Okay. Sorry. Men's triple threat took me by surprise. Not once again by the talents. I think we talked about this in the lead up. But I was like, yeah, kind of on the story. And then, like, being the main event, I was like, well, I guess we're giving it to Punk. Cool. I felt like main event Jey Uso probably should have run the main event, which we'll talk about that match next. But no, we went with Punk, we went with Rowan, we went with Seth, which I get it, star power, and I get it. for the moment we got at the end. So we got the double turn, kind of, with Paul turning on Punk, Paul turning on Roman, and siding with Seth. Shout out to Papa Griff for calling that one, I believe. Good payoff there, even if the second nut shot wasn't the best. But it's good. It's led to stories after Mania as we get to kind of continue this Punk Seth thing. Obviously, Braun Breaker, as I skip ahead, being involved in this new stable with Heyman and Seth. Cool, great. Not that he needed super push, but it's a nice way to elevate him into the main event picture while dropping the IC title and not looking like a loser, you know? So, cool there. Really satisfied with that. So, yes, let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship match. Let's talk about Jey Uso and Gunther. The right call. I feel like we all knew it was going to happen. You saw it with the crowd, just getting that reaction. The Yeet Man, went over, rightfully so. The match, fine. I don't think they went far enough. I feel like Jey should have been bloodied up. Didn't have to be the extent of the Jimmy, attack, but something. Have him fight back, which he did. He hit Gunther with like 8 finishers. Good. The submission. If he was working the neck, wow, I really sound like, business. If he was working the neck, brother, it would have made more sense. No, like if he did a little bit more, fine. Every Giant's got to have their weakness. Okay. The tap out was quick. I know other people have called this out, so I don't want to harp too much on it. That was awkward. It took everybody by surprise, like, oh shit, it's done. So that was the only negative, really. I don't think anything else was bad. They both went back and forth. Gunther did get a little bit of domination at the beginning. Like I said, Jey hit him with a lot of finishers, so you protect Gunther. It was just weird with the tap. Weird with the tap with no work for it, and weird with the tap for the quickness and abruptness of the tap itself. So that was that. Whatever. IC wasn't that night, right? No, Phoenix and Grande Americano. So happy for Phoenix. Sucks for Rey Mysterio to have that injury the night before on SmackDown. That sucked big time. But happy for Phoenix for him to get his moment. Obviously, him and Penta both making their Mania debuts the same year. Cool. He gets to brag over his brother for debuting first. I get why people are like, ooh, Grande shouldn't have won. It's another one I'm also like, nah, while silly, I don't know if this was really warranting a Mania spot. They're not going to change the whole matchup just because Phoenix is now subbing in. Maybe they could have, they did shenanigans, didn't it? They had the little plate in his mask, I think. Yeah, because Phoenix kicked it, and then I think he did a flying headbutt or something like that. So shenanigans were involved. It's not like he just lost clean to normal match things. So I get it. You're going to keep pushing this Grande angle, as we've seen with Penta post-Mania over on Monday Night Raw. So I get it. Cool. It was a cool moment for Phoenix. Hopefully, I haven't watched SmackDown since. I might have watched 1 week. I don't think his reputation's burned or anything like that. People were like, oh, he sucks ass now. No, he'll be fine. Just, be patient. So I get the disruption there or the unhappiness there, but I think we'll be okay. So yeah, let's move over to night 2. If I'm missing anything from night 1 big, I do apologize. Night 2. Opener. Triple threat ladies. I knew they were going to steal it and crush it, even though this story sucked ass. Or at least was awkward getting to it. Most anticipated match, and they delivered. The 3 of them crushed it. Rhea, Bianca, and Io. Io won, solidifying her in this upper echelon of women's talent, as we've seen with the, pointing at herself, getting over in the crowd doing that. I'm so happy to see that. You know, not that she was bad or anything like that before. No, but this just whoop, helped push her up there. So cool. Happy for her. We've seen a little bit of altercation post with some NXT gals coming up. Are they coming up? Are they not? They still get referred to as NXT people, so that pisses me off. But Julia and Roxanne, seen the altercations with Io since. Cool. Bianca's WrestleMania streak is over. Apparently she broke a finger or two or something during that match, so ouchie, good on her to finish up. I don't know if that was just at the finish itself. And then Rhea has been also involved with the new people. And then she's over in Australia to promote Crown Jewel there. So we'll have to see what is next for her. Obviously, she's over. Nothing, the L doesn't affect her here. One thing I will say about the Raw after Mania, Stephanie Becker showing up, cool, and doing the Io Sky match, awesome. I wish that didn't end in shenanigans, and I feel like a lot of matches have ended in DQ since Mania, which is a bummer. I did remember something from night one I'm going to talk about. So I didn't think this one needed it. I get why you want to protect Stephanie as your NXT champ, so fine. But also, there's supposed to be a little bit of a difference in tier here. So Io could have won that. I think that would have been okay. As for the match, I forgot. Jacob Fatu, an LA Knight era. Jacob Fatu winning US. Woo! That BFT out of the sky, that was cool. Didn't catch all of it, personally, not him. But that was cool to see. Jacob Fatu, keep crushing it. We're going to talk about you in a few episodes, my friend. Going back to night 2. Women's tag belts. So we had 2 mysteries on the night. We had the Randy Orton opponent, which we'll talk about next. And we had the women's tag titles, who's going to team with Lyra Valkyria after the Bayley attack. What the fuck was this? Cool moment for Becky. I like Becky. Do I like Becky less than I did prior? Yeah, but, I still like her. So, talk about last minute storytelling. I don't even think we talked about it in the predictions video, or rather the preview talking about storylines, because it wasn't even a thing yet. So Liv and Raquel are tag champs. Oh shit, we got to throw something together. Let's do a women's gauntlet elimination, and let's throw a bunch of teams together. That'll work, right? Sure, Bayley and Lyra, number 1 contenders. Great, okay, cool. You get the women's IC title on Mania without defending it, and then you get Bayley, who everybody loves Bayley, get her on Mania. Cool, okay, whatever, I'm sure it'll be fine. Nope, Bayley gets attacked. What? Becky comes in, replaces. Cool pop. What? Why even bother? If you wanted Becky involved, it's tough to do. It's easy for me to, Sunday morning quarterback or whatever it's called. I just feel bad for Bayley. I even said it, I don't remember where I did, but it was like, Bayley better be actually hurt, because I'm kind of pissed. Like, I don't want to ever wish an injury upon somebody, but man, that sucks. Hey, we're going to do this whole thing, and you're not going to be involved. Hopefully she knew that from the start. Hopefully this was well known, because if that was last minute, boy, oh boy, oof. And yes, it has a payoff after Mania. So Lyra and Becky win. The next night it's a rematch. Liv and Raquel get them immediately back. And then Becky goes, girlfriend, and just beats the shit out of Lyra. Okay, you could have done that differently too. Jumping over to Liv. Liv's now in Hollywood. Woo, doing a movie. Great for her. Apparently she's going to be back soon, so it's not that big of a deal. But she's like, I'm going to be gone for a month. Oh, okay, we're just leaving the women's tag titles just in limbo while this division's already kind of getting the shaft storyline wise and character development wise and everything like that. It's like, huh? So if we knew Liv was going away, which I assume we would, you kind of have to plan those things out. Why not? Okay, still do the title change. Great, Becky and Lyra. Woo! Literally. Have them kill it, fight some good fights, defend the titles for a little while, lose them either when Liv comes back or lose them to another team. Then it's a little bit more of an investment by Becky and more of a, in my opinion, valid reaction for losing the titles. I guess also you could be like, oh, they lost them immediately. That's why she had such a gut reaction. Fair. Just seemed weird to me. I think it's more of just like, now the women's tag belts once again are in that limbo now. If Liv's not gone that long, fine. Also, like I said, they don't really care about that division, which sucks, as we saw with releases, which we'll talk about later. So, like, I don't know. I felt weird about it. I was really happy for Lyra getting her Mania moment. Just iffy feelings on the post stuff. Randy Orton. This is where I was alluding to. I was like, where was I going with this? So Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were supposed to have their fight. Kevin Owens also having an injury a few weeks leading out to Mania. Sucks. Apparently he's been fighting with stuff. Apparently it's his neck. Apparently it's super serious. So that's awful. Kevin's great. Don't want him out. All prayers to him. So Randy has no opponent. Okay. So this was the big mystery going into it. Well, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Solo Sikoa? Why keep it a mystery if it's going to be? Just plop the man in there. Don't get us false hopes. Is it going to be Rusev with rumors of him coming back? Talk about that later. I'd like it. Could be cool. Randy can circle back from a loss. No biggie. Weird from other people's perspective. Like, damn, not the strong moves. We got the pop of the night, people. Say his name, and he appears. Joe Hendry showing up. Holy shit moment for everybody. That was awesome. I know we certainly popped at home, especially with the reveal of it, the slow pan to the stage, the little doors they have opening up, somebody standing there and me being like, huh? And then the music kicks in. That was awesome. I know some people are like, oh, Joe got buried. Yeah, it was a shorter match. You probably could have done a little bit more, but there was also a lot on Mania, so whatever. He got his shit in. He got over. He got to do all of his gimmicks. Randy did his gimmick at the end, so you kind of, he had a cool moment. That's what matters. He made history. That's what matters. TNA champion showing up at Mania. Another wrestler from a different company showing up at Mania. Cool. A lot of cool stuff that he did. Apparently news coming out afterwards. Randy was given a short list of options of who to work with. Joe was on that list and he's like, yep, that's who I want. That's amazing. So even Orton gets it. Just a feel-good moment all around. Really glad that worked out. That was awesome. Obviously just building on the surprise of the Rumble as well. Cool. Awesome. Night 2. I can't think of much else. So let's talk about the main. Once again, expected result. I think like a lot of people, I'm kind of bummed on it. Not the result, how the match played out. Cena did what Cena needed to do. Hey, I'm probably not going to be able to wrestle as good as I used to. That's fine. Age comes for us all. And I'm a bad guy. Let me change this up. So a lot of just strikes, a lot of stomps, a lot of basic shit. Just laying the smack down to quote his cohort. Basic stuff. He's been selling the Crossroads like nobody's business, and now the RKO. Since coming back, he's laid out after those things. So, good. Cody kicking out of stuff. Makes sense. He's around all the time. He's going to be a little bit stronger, right? Totally fine. So Cena picks up the win after Travis Scott interferes. Fiend. God, that's been in my head from time to time. Okay. Where's Dwayne? Oh, Dwayne's not in town. He doesn't want to get in the way of Cena's moment. What the fuck you mean? Why did you show up at Elimination Chamber? Cena could have just turned on his own. Don't get me wrong. Huge moment. We talked about that. Cool. But at least do something. It seemed so weird. Travis coming in, eating the crossroads, taking it. Good job on that. And then, I don't know, it just was weird. I didn't like it. Like I said, the result made sense. The result was what I was expecting. It just felt awkward, for lack of a better term. Dwayne coming in, sorry, The Rock coming in and throwing chaos last year. We got through it. We lived through it. I wanted it this year, damn it. All right? Maybe it's because we saw greener pastures after we got through the shithole that was building up to lead to WrestleMania 40. We're like, hey, maybe this wasn't actually so bad. Still, maybe give Trips a little bit of a heads up in terms of creative. Don't just come in and be like, hey, I'm doing what I want. So, if you're going to do something, do something. Don't half-ass it. Don't be half in, half out. Be like, haha, whatever. All right? If he's just boosting his ego, like, oh, Elimination Chamber tickets weren't selling, brother, so I had to come in and save your ass. What? Have you seen how expensive these tickets are? People are getting them. I don't know if that was the dealio. Okay? You're okay. You can take a hit a little bit on the money. We know you're making bank and releasing people. So, weird is how it felt. Okay? So that's my thoughts and feelings on the main. All in all, it was a fun Mania. I wouldn't say it was a great Mania, but it was fun more once again for the getting togetherness of the event and hanging out. I think that was my highlight. There were other things I definitely enjoyed, but all in all, it was fine. I will say, sorry, before I kick off to the next thing, Street Fight was surprisingly really, really good. Not like, oh, those guys suck, but like I got more out of it than I was anticipating. Logan Paul and AJ, stinker. New Day and War Raiders. Nope. The 4-way IC title was fun. Congrats, Dirty Dom. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, interesting. Interesting overall. So let's talk a little bit more post-Mania. So we already talked about Rusev. He's there. Cool. Hasn't done much. Him and Otis, I get it. Need somebody to smack around. Aleister Black is back. Awesome. They kept his music. Hype. I was so happy about that. Very, very excited. Going against The Miz makes sense. Everybody's like, ooh, it sucks. Why is he fighting The Miz? He needs somebody to beat up, guys. Relax. So, cool to see him back. Zelina Vega winning the U.S. title. Cool. Should have been a bigger moment. She's been around how long? This is her first singles title, excuse me. What are we doing? That should have been a big moment. Motorcycles, hello. And then the releases. Let's talk about them quick. So we had a group of people released. Dakota Kai, Shotzi Blackheart, her contract was not renewed. Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Riley Osborne, Eddie Thorpe, Javier Berthal. Trying to think who else. Shayna Baszler, Braun Strowman, Danny Palmer. Who else? Probably somebody very obvious I'm missing. Not sure. Releases always suck. Gigi Dolan. Releases always suck. especially, you know, doing it right before a show. It's just like, oh, well, how do you want me to be excited about anything? I hope a lot of them land on their feet quick and soon. TNA's obviously been doing better. AEW, good. Not that they need more people. Ring of Honor is this weird conundrum place where there's stuff happening. I couldn't tell you what's happening other than Athena. New Japan, you know, we'll have to figure it out. The ones that hurt the most, Dakota hurts, especially for what she was doing in the IC tournament for that inaugural belt. Seemed like she was getting some momentum behind her. Eddie Thorpe hurts. Finally getting pushed in NXT after his DJ gimmick. So that's unfortunate. Gigi's been there for a while. So that's a weird loss. And it seems like her and Shotzi as well and Tatum Paxley, like they had a good gimmick. Like Gigi and Tatum just fought at Stand and Deliver's pre-show. And then the NXT after Mania for the tag titles. Like, what? See you bye? Cool. So that's frustrating. I don't know why they didn't renew Shotzi. I know she's been in this weird limbo, hit or miss phase. She got injured her knee, I think, but she came back from it. But she had some good moments. Never really propelled like I feel like she should have. But like she had some strong moments when she shaved her head and teaming for War Games with Charlotte and crew. And like I said, she was doing, it seemed like this new team down in NXT was getting over. And we need tag teams for the women's tag division. It's just this division's very half-assed. You get rid of Caden Carter and Katana Chance, which I know they've been around for ages. Don't get me wrong. And they've been a tag team for ages. And it's been this, like, well, you didn't get over, so, like, how much longer can we pursue this? It just sucks. And I don't know if it's a booking thing, because they were used on Raw here and there. Recently, maybe no. I think they were on maybe a week or two ago. But I guess it's just with any character. Like, you have to be persistent with it, or else it's not going to work, you know? So I kind of get why they let them go, because it's been a while and they haven't gotten over huge. But you also have to give them the time and the opportunity to even try to get over huge or do something. So, like, they had the best in terms of chemistry of a tag team, best move set, and they had a lot of things that were together and whatnot. It's just they didn't get the chance. I would say Liv and Raquel is our next best tag team, and the rest are thrown together. I guess Damage Control, Kabuki Warriors, but with both Asuka and Kairi being out, maybe returning soon, you just don't have that. So it's tough to say. Shayna hurts a little bit. She's another one where I know it's been weird because she hasn't really done much of substance since her main roster call-up, unfortunately. She killed it in that Elimination Chamber almost 5 years ago, and then lost to Becky, and then Becky went away, and then Shayna hasn't done a lot since, unfortunately. Yeah, she's tried things, but she's never been that NXT presence that she was in the Black and Gold era, I feel. She did a lot of tag stuff with Nia Jax. She did some, was it PFC? Pure Fusion Collective. Like, they tried that for a moment. Didn't do anything there. Seems like she was doing some coaching in NXT before she got released, so that's cool. Unfortunate, obviously, the still release. But I thought there was potential, like, oh, Triple H is in charge. He liked Shayna. Maybe we could do something here. Not so much. So that one's unfortunate. But I get it. I hope Zoe Stark gets a push out of this or gets something to do. I've liked her since her NXT days, as like a lot of these talents. But I feel like main roster, it was like, yep, we're guns a-blazing. Put her with Trish Stratus, have her against Becky, great. And then after that program, nah, we're good, nothing. So, I don't know. It just sucks. Yeah, hopefully that's it. Hopefully there's not more on the way. I get it. They've signed new people, Penta, Phoenix, the Guns, Black, Rusev. I get it. It's going to be a rotating cast. It's just unfortunate. That's the big thing of just like, man, sorry you had to lose your job. And, I am happy and excited to see where they do land and hope they have great turnouts, as we've seen, like successes in AEW, also not successes, and TNA as well. Hopefully we see more successes than not failures, but downs. So we'll see. But yeah, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait What We're Talking About podcast, road trip edition. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Hopefully audio sound good. Hopefully the lapel mics worked. But yeah, let me know your feedback in the comments. If you liked what you heard today, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, or drop a follow over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011, where we stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, a variety of games. Recently we've been playing some Pokemon Fire Red, and we've been playing South of Midnight, so we've been having some fun with that. So drop a follow over there if you want some more, and yeah, just appreciate you guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. If you're at PAX, hit me up. Just say hi. But have a great weekend. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving it a watch, giving it a listen, and we will see you on the next one.